What's up you guys? Today in this video I'm going to show you a couple of items that I've customized myself, just like this one. I basically use everyday iron-on vinyl, and I use my Cricut here to make these items. So I'll also go through the process of how I do it, and again all the items that I've made before. So let's get started. This was the first item that I customized actually. That's why obviously in my opinion it's not like the greatest, but it's a Tachi from Naruto, and there's a couple of crows around him. Okay, so you have the item or the items that you are like kind of your blank canvases essentially, and then you'll have your design that you want to use in mind or designs. And then the next step basically is to edit your design on the Cricut app. So that's what you're gonna have to use to create that design that's going to go on the item. And I'll show you basically a rundown of how that looks and so forth and so on. Alright, so you're gonna open up your app store and you're gonna type in Cricut Design Space, and this is what the app looks like once you log in and everything. You can basically pull up your design from your photo library, and these are just a couple of designs that I've made in the past. Once you have your design picked out, there's two tools that I usually use. The first one is Select, where you basically pick an area of your image, and then it's going to delete a good amount of it based on how much you want it to delete for you. And those empty spaces are going to be actually be what the color of your item is going to be. If that makes sense. It's basically just deleting it, and everything else that you don't delete is going to be the color of your vinyl. Some people, they do this editing process on like a tablet with a stylus, which is going to give you more control and precision, especially if you're going to use the erasing tool, which I'm attempting to do right now. I do everything on my phone, so not all of my designs are exactly like perfect. And then other people, they use like their computer, their laptop to also do this process just to have more precision. It's up to you. Some people actually use other editing apps or softwares, but I kind of just use what's given to me by the whole Cricut Design Space app. So at this point you have your design, right? And now it kind of places your design onto some kind of grid, right? That grid is basically representing this mat, which is also a grid. So this is basically how you're gonna scope out how big you want your image to be on your piece of clothing or whatever item that you are trying to put it on. If you're super cautious and you want to be absolutely sure how big your item or your design is gonna be on your item, then I would suggest getting some kind of ruler or measuring tape so that you can really measure out the dimensions essentially that your item or your design is going to be and where it's going to be placed. So mine is V for Vendetta, right? It's V, and I'm trying to figure out actually where I want the design to lay. I think I might keep it as a big ass shirt and just keep it as a dress, like a t-shirt dress, and just have V like right here in the middle. So I think I might do 12 by 12. Once you know the dimensions of your design, you're going to actually size it into your app, and then make sure that you also are selecting the mirror option. That's going to be important for the iron-on process. Okay, so the next step basically is to get your material. So for me, I'm using this everyday iron-on, and I'm using the color black. And again, if you're smart, you're going to want to measure out how much you're going to use of this. So for me, I don't usually use a measuring tape or a ruler. I kind of just eye it out. So it's about right here. So like 10, that 8. Yeah, I measure it out with the actual mat. So, and then I usually cut off like a little bit more, a little extra, just because in case I mess up, I have that reassurance that I'll still be able to have enough. Okay, so this part is actually pretty important. I'm gonna make it face you. You're gonna have to, this is the shiny part. The shiny part's gonna go down. And then you kind of have this little texture right here. So shiny, and then boom. There is a plastic here on the mat to protect the actual mat, which is sticky. And that's how the vinyl sticks on it. So you're gonna take that out, don't throw it out, you're gonna keep it. Now, this vinyl should stick onto the mat. Again, mine is really nasty and dirty, so if you're zooming in, don't judge me, alright? Relax. It's super sticky, so again, like, you really do need to be absolutely sure. But, jeez, don't judge me, please. I haven't done this in a long time. So it might take you a couple tries to get it right. If you have a bigger design, it's gonna be like more difficult to kind of get for sure. There's a flattening tool that comes with the tools that come with your machine, and you can use this tool to make sure all the bubbles are gone and that your vinyl is flat on your mat. So you'll have your vinyl on your mat like this, right? If you do have any kind of like bubbles and whatnot, just, you know, don't panic, because like I've had instances where like my vinyl wasn't even fully flat, but it was like the edges. Like, you just want to make sure that the area where you know your design is going to be on is good. You want to make sure that there's space in the back of your machine, because the design is it might end up going out and then going back in. So yeah, so here we're gonna load it. So you gotta make sure that your machine is connected to your Bluetooth, and it's connected to your app. Right here on your Cricut Design Space app, you're gonna be at the part where it's gonna ask you to load your mat and your vinyl and everything. It's gonna ask you to select your material and everything like that too. For me, I always have mine at custom. You could put it at iron on. I think I might actually do that. I'm gonna make sure that it's loading under these two crevices right here. And then you press this, so the mat's gonna load. And then, yeah, so this is gonna indicate that it's ready to cut. And you can press that too, but I'm just gonna check on the app real quick. Okay, yeah, so for me, my app is good and I'm ready basically to start. So we're gonna go ahead and hit this. And it should start cutting. And this is how you know that it's done, so you just gotta and you're good. So now is actually kind of I don't know, it's like for me it was therapeutic, but now like lately my patience has been like this, so I get kind of annoyed. So this is the thing, like if you're gonna be doing this kind of stuff, you gotta make sure that you can like be patient, because now it's the point where we're kind of gonna weed out all of the areas that we like deleted and took out. So I think that this design, because I made it really big, it's gonna be pretty easy, I want to say, but let's just go through the process and we'll actually see how it goes. So that's what these tools are used for. So for me, I usually use like this one. I don't really use this one, but I might actually try to use this one. Yeah, I don't think I did that right, but it's okay, it's okay. So here's the design. It's not that big of a deal. I would suggest using a flat surface when you're doing the weeding process, just because like it's gonna be easier that way. I'm actually gonna do it here. I'm just gonna use one of my 12 by 24 mats as my flat surface. So I'm gonna start with this head. Again, you have to be really, really careful in this process because you can really mess up, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you might poke through the actual like vinyl, so just be very, very careful. So over here you'll see that I'm gonna decide to cut out the extra vinyl that my design is not on, and you can actually save this piece of vinyl too, just in case you want to use it in the future, but this is just going to make the weeding out process a little bit easier so you can focus on your design. Over here you'll see that I'm taking out the background, and that's like one of the first things that I decided to do. But let me tell you, if it's a bigger piece, definitely don't do this, because it's gonna basically be detrimental to the stickiness of the vinyl when you're putting it on your actual design. So maybe don't start with the background and just focus on the smaller pieces in your actual design. so once you are done, you're gonna put your item on a flat surface. So I have this ironing board right here, this small one, and I'm just gonna lay my item, my little t-shirt, or my big t-shirt rather, because look at this, like, dang. And I'm gonna try to like center it as best as I can. Again, if you're smart, use a ruler, use a measuring tape, whatever you got. And you're gonna need some kind of material or cloth that you're gonna put over the vinyl when you're actually getting to the part where you're ironing. But for now, I'm gonna try to figure out where I'm gonna place this. Okay, so I did end up putting it on the floor just because I have a better grasp at like what it's gonna look like. So now the shiny part is up, just so you guys know. To make sure that this is all flat real quick. Make sure that you like where the placement is. So the next step after this would be to get your little cloth right here. A lot of people use like actual cloths that you're meant to use, which I don't exactly remember what it's called. But for me, I'm just gonna use this scarf. Alright, so here you're gonna make sure that the cloth is over your design fully, and you're gonna place your iron, or if you have a heat press, that's great, you can use that. I usually hold it in place for about like 30 to 40 seconds, and occasionally I would move it around in circles or up and down just to kind of make sure that it's not scorching, essentially. You want to make sure that there's no water in your iron if you're using an iron, and yeah, you kind of just do this throughout the whole design and make sure that everything is being covered basically with heat. So you might see some lifting of your vinyl like this, or any kind of like bubbling. That might be an indicator that your vinyl is ready. And you could even see a little bit of bubbling too, like that. I want to give it maybe like 5 minutes. Alright, so I'm gonna peel it off now and see what it came out to look like. Alright, so I hope you guys liked you know, all of the items, or a couple of the items that I've customized and upcycled and, you know, of that sort. So yeah, I mean, I hope this kind of inspired you to, you know, not throw out stuff just because you feel like you might not wear it anymore. You could always upcycle your clothes. And I don't know, like right now, I like the fact that it's still a dress, like a t-shirt dress. But who knows, like maybe in a couple months or maybe even a year, I'll get tired of it and then I'll cut it. You know, like who knows? But I'll still have this shirt for a while, especially now, the fact that D is on it. Alright, so I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.